Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go, son! Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you the best Staff Dagger PVE build for Talander. This build can be utilized for bosses, it can be utilized for dungeons, it can be utilized for open world PvE. It is a build that has gotten me substantially good scores in secret dungeons as well as substantially higher ranks when performing bosses, as you just saw from the previous clip. I was in a party, however, I did get top 15 with, I was about 14 hours into the stream, no sleep, like barely even paying attention, but with the right mentality, with the right rotation, with the right positioning, this build can pump some serious damage in PvE. Considering it is a PvP focused gear setup, it is amazing the amount of damage you can do. That being said, there are some changes that I would make to the build if I was PvE only, but I don't recommend anyone in this game ever going PvE only, because the PvP, like, you can take a PvP build into PvE, you cannot take a PvE build into PvP. And because this game has so much PvP and is so PvP focused, I recommend that you kind of follow what I'm doing a bit, and maybe tweak it to your profile. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the video. I want to note that this is the second time I'm uploading this video because YouTube botched my audio the first time. But as I got a lot of requests for this video, hopefully you guys enjoy it. First thing I want to point out is that for general PvE, like dungeons where you need the mana, I would say having Inner Peace is really useful. However, if you are rushing a boss and going for time or going for maximum DPS and you have people in your party that can replenish your mana, you're going to use Cleaving Moonlight over Inner Peace. Just make sure when you use Cleaving Moonlight that you have the consecutive use on Cleaving Moonlight for the extra damage, and you are good to go. I'm going to go over the skill specializations a bit later. First, I want to show you guys the rotation. So the essential rotation is to fully buff into Meteor. Fully buff meaning Lightning Infusion, High Focus, and we're going to go straight into Hellfire Rain, Focus Firebomb. After that, we are going to Detonator Bombardment, Judgment Lightning, and we should have 20 stacks for Thunder Bombing. If you don't have 20 stacks for some reason, you can Inferno Wave into Thunder Bombing. At that point, your Focus Firebomb should be up, and you can Focus Firebomb into Fireball Barrage. So the key things that you want to remember about this PvE rotation is that the most important skills are your Hellfire Rain and your Focus Firebomb. If these are off cooldown, you essentially need to stop the rotation and restart from Hellfire Rain and Focus Firebomb. They are your #1 priority skills. They do massive damage. Nothing else compares in the rotation. Essentially, I would say the main 3 skills that you want to use if you have too much cooldown speed. Let's say you have like an Expo or Expo Longbow in your party that's resetting your cooldowns. Then essentially you're just spamming Focus Firebomb, Meteor, Thunderclouds Bombing, and adding in a Fatal Stigma when so full rotation, just recapping again, fully buff, Focus Meteor, Focus Firebomb, Detonator Bombardment, Judgment Lightning, Thunderclouds Bombing, Fatal Stigma, Inferno Wave, Fireball Barrage, Chain Lightning. It can look something like this. $20 stacks. Set. Get to 20 stacks. Reset my Thunderclouds Bombing. Detonator Bombardment. Judgment Lightning. Barrage. Thunderclouds Bombing. Fatal Stigma. We're resetting our Meteor. Barrage, Fleeting Moonlight into Fireball Barrage, or 20 stacks, Thundercloud's Bombing, so on and so forth. The rotation gets a little different, like I said, depending upon cooldowns. Honestly, when I'm in a party with someone else, I am used to really just spamming Fireball Barrage, Fatal Stigma, Thundercloud's Bombing. They're always off cooldown. Using Meteor when it's up, and Detonator Bombardment, Judgment Lightning as filler. Usually, I don't really get to clean Moonlight unless I'm solo. Solo, it's really good, but in a group, you probably will have too much cooldown reduction on the rest of your skills to use. Um, Hopefully, you guys like the rotation. So these are the passives that I'm running for PVE. Murderous Energy for the extra stacks, Mana Bar Eruption, um, obviously Destructive Fang, my Flame Condensation for the extra heavy attack, Destructive Fang to lower defense, critical damage on Raffle Edge, critical hit on Assassin's Instinct, skill damage on Forbidden Sanctuary. Okay, I'm using the Mystic Shield so that I get extra damage upon a Fury attack. Definitely prefer Mystic Shield for the weakened burning stacks as well. Obviously, because I have a Queen Bell, any weakened burning is insanely good. We try and use Fireball Barrage after applying the most burning stacks as possible. That way we can get more fireballs because we already have too many skills for the rotation. We're doing the burning stacks on Inferno Wave, Focus Firebomb. What you could do potentially if you have really bad cooldowns is take out the projectile speed, but I've noticed this projectile speed will save me that fireball can hit and get you some extra damage on a boss. So it's kind of up to you. I think I like the projectile speed. Using the extra damage on detonator bombardment, obviously the morph to change it to ice to 8 ice spears, even though it's lightning. Now that it's detonator bombardment through masteries. We're using the base damage of High Focus and the cooldown and the Hellfire Rain version of Meteor because this new Hellfire buff is insane. Gives you 666 base damage plus the randomly dealing base damage and applying weaken from the small meteors, which is insane. Absolutely insane damage if it hits the same target. Consecutive use on Cleaving Moonlight, Lightning Infusion so that we can stack Thundercloud's Bombing. You typically want to use Thundercloud's Bombing at 20 stacks so you can reset this cooldown. Spamming this skill will cost a good amount of mana, however, it is massive damage if you can get those 20 resets. The extra damage on Fatal Stigma is really good too. If you were killing just mobs, the reset's nice, but because we're using on a boss, you just use the extra damage proportional to the target's health. Usually a bit better to use this kind of towards the middle end of your rotation for this reason because it'll lower their health. All right, guys, those are the specializations. Those are the skills. My masteries, I'm just using the detonator bombardment mastery from my previous mastery video. Please go watch it if you didn't. Just going for power surge, extra attack. The only difference is that I have started using this node to get the vitality conversion for the extra health over the heavy attack node for the mana shockwave. I would recommend that if you do less PvP that you probably go for the heavy attack chance. Just because it's going to equal a bit more damage if you heavy attack. However, I PvP a lot with the slowdown so vitality conversion. But for maximum DPS, definitely the heavy attack, or at least the max damage. One of the two. I think heavy attack is a bit more RNG. The max damage would net you some consistent more damage. I tested out for my dagger masteries. I am using again a PvP version of this loadout, which has ethereal version. However, if you were going for PvE only, I would recommend Merciless Form, which gives you a dagger attack skill damage increase. Ether Evasion, I think, is insanely useful in PvP just for dodging an essential skill. As an endurance user, just negating one skill is huge. It gives you an HP advantage. However, for PvE, the extra damage on daggers matters more. So you'd want to take that over Ether Evasion. And you'd also want to take out one of these nodes, the heavy attack evasion, so that you could get you could get the attack speed. I would say the lesser attack speed augment. That way you can get the piercing bite to lower damage reduction. So that you can do more overall damage. That would be more of a pure DPS setup. The rest of this is already pretty much DPS. Assassin's Instinct or Combat Velocity is insanely good for PVX. You want to essentially add that to your passive list for most open world PVX. You can add it over Murders. Murders is mostly just for bosses, to be honest. Assassin's Instinct is typically better because if you look at the mastery for Dagger, this combat velocity is going to give you 15% attack speed when you kill something because you're going to gain assassin step when you kill something. So for general PVE, combat velocity is just this. Even for PP, it's just best in slot. And then the damage of the stacks increase for strategic exchange. This is insanely good. Even though you get slightly less base damage of Fatal Statement and Thundercloud's bombing, I think it balances out because you're getting more damage from the stacks. And since we're applying so many stacks with this build, 20 stacks and reset, 20 stacks and reset, I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, that is my build, you guys. Like I said, check out the mastery guide, check out the Questlog as you will have a full in-depth version of it. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Please let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns in the comment section below. Peace and love, guys.